Lindsay here, and we are on our third installment in this edition of Forgotten Franchises. Yes, we are on Best of the Best 3, No Turning Back.
You have a vision in sight, put yourself to the test. Be the best of the best. The best of the best. Be the best you can be. The best of the best.
So we started off with the original Best of the Best, came out in 1989. Then we just covered Best of the Best 2, which came out in 1994. Now we're talking about Best of the Best 3, No Turning Back, which came out in 1995. And the only person that is still with us has really been the driving force through this entire series, and that is Philip Ree. He's written a couple of the movies. He's directing this one. Yes, he has stepped into the director's seat for the third installment. And really, who else would be worthy enough to take on the mantle of the Best of the Best franchise other than Philip Ree? You know, he has the best of the best martial arts moves. We've seen that, especially in the last film, when he was up against Brackus and all those other people. But he is the only remnant left from our gang of karate people. There's no more Eric Roberts. Chris Penn died in the last one. Daehan. I don't know where Daehan is. He's doing something. He's always up to something, but he's not in this movie. So it is just Tommy Lee. He is the best of the best, and now there is no turning back. There's no turning back. And what I love about this movie is I've got my VHS copy right here, and this is a screener copy. And you remember in one of my more recent VHS hauls, we talked about the Glass Shield, and it was a screener copy, and they talked about the Winter Action Blitz.
Buena Vista Home Video, the #1 video distributor in the world, brings you the Winter Action Blitz program, promoting the #1 genre in video rentals, action.
Because the Glass Shield was part of the Winter Action Blitz, and also part of the Winter Action Blitz. Winter Action Blitz is Crimson Tide, Men of War or Men at War, some Dolph Lundgren movie. It's okay. Judge Dredd, and Best of the Best 3.
Based on the success of the Best of the Best series, your best bet is to buy deep, because this one is the ultimate, the hottest of them all.
We cannot escape the Winter Action Blitz.
It's the 5 hottest action titles of the year, supported by a gigantic advertising campaign. Massive cross-trailering, creating more than 1 billion consumer impressions. And hard-hitting POP. It all adds up to the biggest rental program of the year. Crimson Tide, The Glass Shield, Men of War, Best of the Best 3, and Judge Dredd.
It'll get you. Oh, and another little fun thing, because again, this is a screener copy, so it's got the numbers on the back. It says, sure to be the best. Hot, Best of the Best series. The title, the first Best of the Best did 112,000 units pre-book. Best of the Best 2 did 134,000 units. So it says for Best of the Best 3, meet the demand, order deep. Order a lot of copies, because if this upward trend continues with video rentals, Best of the Best 3, it could break 150,000. It really could. So as we go through these different, installments of the franchise, we need to go through like, okay, where are we at the beginning of this movie compared to the end of the last movie? And if you remember, at the end of Best of the Best 2, Tommy Lee defeated Brachus and therefore takes ownership of the Coliseum, the nightclub, and the fight club underneath. And they said at the end of that movie, you know, they were gonna shut it down. The Coliseum is closed. Lights off. Bye-bye, Wayne Newton. So I don't expect us to be hanging out at the Coliseum in this movie. But how this movie opens is very interesting. We open up and it's farmland. There's a lot of hay bales. Not a lot going on. We are in the country. We are in Hicksville, just a bit. We are in the rural south-ish, I think. But who knows? Who knows? But we're in the country. And the first person that we meet is a local preacher. And this local preacher has a son, and it's shown that this preacher is also a bit of an activist for civil rights in the area. He's very outspoken, that kind of thing. And he puts his son on a bus that comes by, and the son goes off on the bus. But then we see the preacher who's standing in front of his church. He gets jumped. These people burn the church to the ground. And that's all we see. And then we're introduced to one of the first big names in this movie. Yes, we're introduced to Dee Wallace.
I forbid you to watch that man in front of your brothers, Owen.
And Dee Wallace is a mom, like she usually is. She's a mom of a lot of boys. She's got a lot of kids. She's got a lot on her plate. She's a single mom working at the diner, and her oldest boy is getting radicalized by this Christian nationalist that's on the TV. And this Christian nationalist is played by R. Lee Ermey, of all people.
Now, do you think that God created heaven and earth and populated this world without a specific thought in mind?
Yes, he's a Christian nationalist televangelist kind of thing. So I'm already getting the hints, because you know in the first movie they fought against the Koreans, but it was really a fight within themselves to become a team and get over some of their demons. In the last one, the fighting was for revenge. You know, they killed their friend and then they blew up Grandma's gas station and all that shit. So they were fighting for revenge. In this one, I'm pretty sure Tommy Lee is going to be fighting racism and racists. But we'll get more into that. So the bus that the little kid was put on at the beginning, it arrives at its destination at this school. And at this school is Gina Gershon.
Good morning. How are you this morning, Margot?
I'm sorry, Isabel. I tried calling, but you'd already left.
What happened, Margot? What happened, honey? Spit it out.
And we get a little more about, you know, this environment that these people are living in, their community is plagued by racism. There's a lot of racism going on in this community, and it's very blatant, and it's a problem. It's a big problem.
Well, at least if they're gonna call us names, they ought to learn how to spell.
She brought this bus of people in because they're a choir for the local church. They're gonna sing for the students. So while this concert is going on, we cut to a quarry, is my best guess. There's lots of rocks and there's like some water. It looks like a quarry to me. And it's a neo-Nazi initiation ceremony. And who's being initiated? It's Dee Wallace's older son.
Owen Tucker, what say you?
Patriots, let me join your ranks.
Yes, we are at a Nazi. We got Nazis. We've got Nazis. And they do this thing, you know, his head's shaved and all that, and they welcome him. And then the leader, the redheaded racist, he plays a big part in this narrative. The redheaded racist is like, oh, we got a surprise for this meeting. And they bring out the preacher. They have kidnapped the preacher. They didn't just burn his church down, they kidnapped him.
Wow. Reverend Phelps, how nice to see you.
And then they proceed to beat him to death with a baseball bat.
Oh, damn. One more thing, Reverend, I forgot.
Yeah, they're bad fucking Nazi racist assholes. And they just beat a preacher to death with a bat at an initiation ceremony at a quarry.
We will no longer remain the silent majority. This is white man's land!
I still don't know where Tommy Lee is.
White power! White power! White power!
This community is just plagued by racism and they have nowhere to turn. They're frightened. They need someone, a lone warrior, someone who, dare I say, is best of the best to come in and help clean up this town of all the racism. And who else could do that but Tommy Lee?
I've always been a loner, but I'm tired of being alone.
And we get a spectacular introduction to him. He's driving through the country in his convertible, and some racists kind of drive him off the road and his car wrecks. So now he's on foot, a true lone wolf image, walking into town on foot with his backpack, his duffel bag, and his very tight pants. So he heads into the diner where Dee Wallace works to use the phone and is immediately accosted by racists.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, now, you're not from around here, now are you?
They're everywhere in this town. The redheaded racist is there. He's being all weird towards Dee Wallace. It's kind of gross.
He didn't mean nothing by it. He didn't hurt y'all, did he, darling?
But they try giving Tommy Lee a hard time, and he does not take the bait. He's like, yeah, fuck you guys, you're racist. You're not gonna pimp me into some brawl in a diner, okay? Not happening. So Tommy Lee heads out again. He used the phone, but he obviously didn't get anyone. He's walking down this country road, and wouldn't you know it, a cop pulls him over, of course. But this cop is Christopher McDonald.
Is there a problem, officer?
Oh, yeah, there's a problem, all right.
Yes, Shooter McGavin is in this movie. And Shooter McGavin knows Tommy.
You're late. You're on foot.
He knows him.
Got your message.
Good to see you, Jack.
He's his fucking brother-in-law. Yes, we are getting more family lore about Tommy Lee. Because, you know, in the first one, we saw him with his parents, the ice cream cone. His brother dies, he drops the ice cream cone, all that shit. In the second one, we find out about his Native American grandma. And his brother, uncle, Sonny Ladman. In this one, we meet his sister.
Hey, sis.
And his nephew.
Hey, Justin.
And she's married to Christopher McDonald. She's married to Shooter McGavin, who is the local sheriff. The only cop in like a 200-mile vicinity. He's it. We see no other cops in this entire movie. It's just him. And wouldn't you know it, also at his sister's house is the little boy, the preacher's son from the beginning. Yes, he knows the kid and the preacher, family friends. So now he's already personally invested in what's going on in this neighborhood, and it's about to get worse.
Anybody hungry?
Yeah.
Good. Liver and onions.
And so we cut to Arlie Ermey, and he's got a big compound outside of town, and it looks like they're organizing for something.
The streets of our neighborhoods are littered with welfare babies.
We don't know what yet, but they're organizing for something. And Dee Wallace's oldest son goes home and packs up all his shit, and he's like, this isn't a family. I have a family now. The racists are nice to me and say that I belong there.
If your pa were here.
Yeah, well, he ain't, is he? You made sure of that.
And hatred is giving me something to live for. And we get this very dramatic moment. It's heartbreaking.
Hatred's gonna get you killed!
And so Tommy Lee and Shooter McGavin are sitting out on the porch, drinking some beers, shooting the shit, talking about all the racists. And the sister comes out and they're like, let's go get ice cream. That's a nice thing to do. When you're visiting families, go get ice cream. Shooter McGavin doesn't want to go. So Tommy and his sister and the two kiddos, his nephew and the preacher's son, they go into town to get ice cream. And wouldn't you know, the racists are about. And not only are they about, they are active and they start attacking the sister and the kids in the car while Tommy's buying some fucking shaving cream.
All right, I'm coming.
And he comes out and sees what's going on, and so we have our first fight between Tommy Lee and the Nazis. And he makes pretty short work of them. It's pretty easy for him. He uses his bag full of shaving cream at one point to dispatch a couple of them. He doesn't get too involved. He's just taking them out so they're not a threat anymore. He's defending himself and his family is what he's doing. And Shooter McGavin shows up and he's all pissed because he wasn't there to do anything about it. And none of the townspeople are willing to say anything and be witnesses because they're just terrified. They're like, we have businesses here, we have families, we're scared of what's going to happen if we say anything. So we saw nothing. We saw nothing. Tommy and his sister are talking the next day and we get our first little hint about maybe something happened since the last movie, because she's talking about the nephew, and the nephew wants Tommy to teach him how to defend himself, especially after what happened last night. He's got to know how to protect himself.
He's missed you. We all have.
I missed you guys too.
He wants you to teach him how to defend himself.
And Tommy gets really quiet and like stone-faced and distanced. He goes, you know I don't teach anymore.
Karen, you know I don't teach anymore.
Do we? Do we know that? We didn't know that you don't teach anymore. Why don't you teach anymore? What's the deal? What happened? What happened, Tommy Lee? Why don't you teach anymore? They don't tell us yet.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, okay?
And then we cut to the county fair. Because we are in the country, you have to have a county fair. It's a community thing, and Tommy Lee is dressed as a clown in the dunk tank.
Come on, Missy! Stay right, one!
Some charity deal. He's helping out with his sister or something. I don't know.
Hey, kid, what's the matter? You didn't eat your Wheaties? Put some muscle into it. Don't be a wimp, come on!
But again, the racists are about, and they're spreading out these flyers with propaganda on him. And Gina Gershon sees this, and she is not having it. So she goes up to the racists and is like, you can't do this. This is wrong. She takes their flyers and is giving them the business. And they start smacking her around. They just start slapping a teacher in front of everybody, and no one does anything until Tommy Lee in full clown getup.
Hey!
Who the hell are you, boy?
Homie, the killer clown.
Big shoes included. Starts kicking all their asses again. And Gina Gershon is super ungrateful about it.
I can take care of myself.
What?
You almost killed him.
Super ungrateful about it.
Hey, lady! You're welcome!
Like, she's mad at him that he stopped the racist from slapping the shit out of her. and hurting anybody else that was around.
I ain't afraid of you!
Oh, shit.
And speaking of racist, redheaded racist is trying to up the racist game. He's trying to take his Nazis, his neo-Nazis, to the next level. And so they buy a minigun. From some guy. But it's a nice little minigun. It's a nice little minigun. So not only do we have racists about, they are now heavily, heavily armed. And this town, despite all the racists and the racism and churches burning and people getting killed, they have a full slate of town activities going on, because now we're at a picnic slash barbecue type thing, and the sister has set Tommy Lee up with a date, and he doesn't know who that is, but it's Gina Gershon.
Oh, God. The ice queen?
And, you know, they had their thing where she was super salty about him defending her from being assaulted. And he's like, she's kind of a bitch. Because she was being a bitch. She was being a bitch. But they hit it off throughout the evening. And there's fireworks. Literally, there's fireworks. And we get this awkward, like, flirting scene with them in the kitchen where they're being kind of play, fighty, flirty, and it's, I don't know, it's kind of weird.
Feisty, aren't you? Ooh.
But they get interrupted.
Where till you should hit girls?
They get interrupted by the racism. Out in front of his sister's house, the racists have burnt a cross. There's a burning cross in their front yard, and the racists are just standing there. So now they have been warned. They have been officially threatened by the neo-Nazi Klansmen people. We're coming to get you.
You're next on the list.
We go from the Colosseum to burning crosses. And then we get probably the saddest scene in the entire movie. And this is when the little boy, the preacher's son, they still don't know what happened to his father. There's like missing posters around. They haven't found a body. They kind of know, they have an inkling about what happened, but they don't know yet. And the little boy gets scared of the racists, and he goes and he's sitting in the bus crying. And Tommy goes in to talk to him and, you know, kind of reason with him about not being afraid, etc., of these assholes. And this little kid is acting his fucking heart out, tears streaming down his face.
I want it back!
And it's very touching, or at least it would be if Philip Ree was a better actor.
He never left you.
But now, again, the town has come together. It's like a town meeting.
Last item of business on today's agenda.
A city council meeting, a town council meeting, and the whole town is there. R. Lee Ermey is down front because he's trying to buy a bunch of land outside of town to expand his compound.
Parcel 154. That's the 2,500 acres at the northeast corner of the city limits.
And the thing about R. Lee Ermey's character's racism is he's all about separation. He doesn't want to wipe out the other races. He just wants to live apart from them. That's his thing. Is separation, segregation. He's all for segregation. And all of the neo-Nazi Klansmen come in and like stand around in the back to try to intimidate the townsfolk from speaking up. But Gina Gershon is not going to be silenced. Oh no. Oh no, you can slap the shit out of this woman, do whatever. She's not gonna shut up.
Mr. Bryan wants to buy up our land so he can build a monument to hate.
So she stands up, she says her piece, and gets the town riled up and going to stand against the racists once and for all. And so the measure is shot down. R. Lee Ermey cannot buy the land to expand his racist empire.
It has become apparent that the interests of your church are inconsistent with those of our city.
Hooray! But now, racists are big mad now. They're big mad.
Family enjoyed the barbecue last night? Bitch!
And Tommy Lee knows something is bad's gonna happen, because like all this is just a powder keg ready to blow, and he's talking to his brother-in-law, the cop, and he's like, hey, are you gonna do something now? And Shooter McGavin is like, I have to follow the law. I have to follow the rules. And Tommy Lee is like, well, they're not fucking following the rules, so what's your answer to that?
I don't think the other team is playing by your rules.
And so he goes and he's talking to Gina Gershon about all this shit, and we finally get a little more crumb, a little more taste of what happened after the last movie.
Is that why you stopped teaching?
Karen told you?
And really nothing did. The reason he doesn't want to teach anymore is because he had to kill Brackus.
So what else did she tell you?
That you killed a man?
Because he killed a man. He does not feel worthy enough to pass on his talents when his talents were used to end a life.
I had no choice.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't have brought that up.
Now, going forward in this movie, it doesn't seem like he has a problem killing people. But we'll get there.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't have brought that up.
But that's why he's not teaching anymore, because he had to kill Brackus, and he feels bad about killing the guy who was gonna kill him. Makes a lot of sense. But Tommy Lee's answer to dealing with these racists is to spy on them, figure out what they're doing. They've got something going on, they've got something big planned, and he's gonna find out what. So he goes to the compound and he starts spying on them, and they're moving in trucks of stuff, and he knocks a guy out and puts his clothes on to try to get a closer look. And we see that the neo-Nazis, the redheaded Nazi, the redheaded racist, is bringing in a ton of weapons, guns, big guns, powerful guns, guns that shoot a lot of fucking bullets. And R. Lee Ermey didn't know this.
This is exactly why people fear us. They think we want to exterminate, not separate.
But, Pastor, we do.
Because again, he's like, I want separation. Yes, I'm a big fucking racist, but I don't want to kill anybody. I just want to be separate from all the other races. And the redheaded racist is like, nope, we're gonna kill everybody, and we're gonna start with you.
The men need new leadership.
I agree.
Get out of my way.
And so he kills R. Lee Ermey in a garage. Because the big red racist, he doesn't want separation, he wants annihilation. And so Tommy Lee tries to get out of there, but he's spotted pretty easily. His disguise of black clothing and a hat did not work at this racist compound.
Right there. Hey, you! Stop! Get the rights!
And so he gets made, and they chase after him. And there's like 3 guys on a motorcycle, and they jump over the hay bales, and they're coming after him. But he jumps up in the air and does the double kick, and then the kick in the middle to kick all 3 guys off of the motorcycles at the same time. And then he picks one of the motorcycles up, and he gets away. He's got to get to the teacher, because when he was in watching them kill R. Lee Ermey, they talked about going after Tommy Lee and the teacher. and that they're going to go to her house. And so he's racing as fast as he can to get to the teacher's house because he knows guys are going there to kill both of them, but she's there alone. And they sneak up and they bust in her house. They shoot her fucking dog. They try to assault her, but just in the nick of time, Tommy Lee gets there and kicks all their asses and saves the day. And there's some amazing moves in this fight scene. We get some awesome stuff. And he grabs Gina Gershon and runs the fuck out of there. They run through the woods. They're being chased by the racists, and they get in a boat. And they take the boat up the river, and they get away, and they head to the sister's house. But the racists got to the sister's house before they could get there, and they assaulted the sister, and they took the 2 boys. They kidnapped the 2 boys. And Tommy Lee looks at his brother-in-law, the cop, and is like, "Still playing by the rules now?"
Still playing by the rules, Sheriff.
I mean, what a dick thing to say. His wife just got assaulted by racist men, and his child and another child have been kidnapped, and Tommy's like, "You ready to play by, you guys still gonna play by the rule book now?" Probably not. Probably fucking not, Tommy. Probably not, you dick. Way to make him feel even more like shit. So the redheaded racist has fully taken over the neo-Nazis now. He is the supreme leader. He killed Arlie Ermey, and now he's the head of this entire organization. And it's very militant and very Nazi stuff. Lots of Nazi imagery and shit.
I have been called upon by God.
So while he's giving his big Nazi speech, Tommy Lee and Shooter McGavin are sneaking into the compound to try and find the boys. And again, Tommy Lee doesn't really want to kill anybody yet. They start making their way silently through each guard guy. Like they'll grab him, you know, and choke him out and drag him away and shit like that. And they're trying to get in without being seen or heard. And Tommy Lee goes into a garage and he starts opening up these big crates that he saw them unload from the truck earlier when he snuck in. And these boxes are filled to the top with C4. And they're big. They're probably like 5 feet long, just packed with bricks of C4. So what does Tommy Lee do? What is his bright idea? Well, he's got some shotgun shells and a flare. He takes the shotgun shells, wraps them around the flare, lights the flare, and shoves it into this crate of C4. Yeah, you remember in Die Hard when it was just one block of C4 and he put like 3 detonators in it and it damn near destroyed the fucking building? Yeah, this is 10 times that, at least, the amount of C4. And what does this C4 do? It explodes a garage. I mean, this is enough C4 to level the whole fucking town. And all it does is blow up a garage. Very slowly. Like, it looks like controlled explosions as he's running away, all cool looking. And it really only kills one guy. The door of the garage warehouse thing blows off and hits one guy. But Shooter McGavin, he finds the kids and gets them and starts fighting his way out. Tommy Lee kills a guy with a fucking knife. I guess he's fine with killing people now. And he's just shooting people. I mean, most of them he's trying to shoot in the knee, like the Terminator in Terminator 2, but after a while he gives up and he just starts shooting people. And then Gina Gershon comes barreling into the compound in the bus. She drives straight through the fence and through a bunch of people, and Shooter McGavin is trying to get the kids on the bus. They're all trying to get on the bus so they can get away. But Shooter McGavin gets shot. He's okay. And then a bad guy jumps up and Shooter McGavin shoots him. And guess who the bad guy is? Fucking Kane Hodder. Yes, our third appearance of Kane Hodder. Will he be in the fourth one? I fucking hope so. But he's only in it for a second. He gets shot and killed and he's dead. So Tommy Lee jumps on a motorcycle again and crashes it into the nose tape Nazi guy who's in a car. There's lots of explosions, just random explosions going off now. All hell is breaking loose. Gina Gershon is fighting for her fucking life, just trying to not die. But the bus dies. The bus dies, she's trying to get it started, and oh my god, the racists have a rocket launcher. They have a rocket launcher, but luckily they're not very good at shooting it. And they miss. But Tommy Lee's good at shooting it, so he picks it up and he blows a path for the bus to get out of. But the redheaded racist, he's still there. He comes out with the fucking minigun. Yeah, you forgot about the minigun, didn't you? Well, I didn't, and neither did the redheaded racist. He's got the minigun, and he's shooting it all over the place. So Tommy Lee and the racist, they're gearing up for their final showdown. And also in this area is Dee Wallace's older son. And he confronts Tommy, and Tommy takes pity on him. And he's like, get the hell out of here, kid. You don't even know what the fuck you're doing. So he spares Dee Wallace's son. But now it's just him. It's Tommy Lee versus redheaded racist. Mano a mano. And they are all over the place. The redheaded racist chases Tommy Lee up to the top roof of this warehouse kind of thing with the minigun. Explosions everywhere. They tussle on top of the roof and then they fall off of the roof onto the ground, and they're still fighting down there. They each have a knife. And they're slashing and hacking at each other, and all the other racists are gathering around to watch this final battle between good and evil. And we get a couple signature moves from Tommy Lee in this final fight. A couple Philip Rhee signature moves that we've seen in, especially in Best of the Best 2. We get that floor kick move that I fucking love. He does that. Tommy Lee has triumphed over the redheaded racist. And he has a moment where he could kill him, like to finish him off or whatever.
Oh, bud.
And he decides not to. He says hate is not the answer, and he spares the redheaded racist. And the redheaded racist is yelling at all his goons around him like, kill him, kill him, kill that guy, kill Tommy Lee. We're racists and we kill people like Tommy Lee, kill Tommy Lee.
Shoot this son of a bitch! Armageddon is upon us! The apocalypse is here!
But no, they don't. They do not. Tommy Lee has won them over. He has defeated racism in this town. And so who steps up to take care of the redheaded racist? Dee Wallace's oldest son just commits murder. And kills the redheaded racist and then drops his rifle, ceremoniously saying that he's done with this shit. So racism in this town is solved. And so Tommy Lee, our hero, exits the warehouse and walks into the night, shirtless and glistening, as the compound burns and explodes around him. Hate has been destroyed. We see the community starting to come back together. They're rebuilding the church that was burnt down or blown up, really. And they find peace. And that's the end of the movie. We don't see Tommy take off or anything. Maybe he's gonna hang out, bang Gina Gershon a couple times. I don't know, it could happen. But where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? We know we had our sports drama with our karate tournament in the first one. Then we went full crazy and did the underground fighting, Coliseum, Wayne Newton, all that shit. And in this one, we fought racism and we won by kicking. The next Best of the Best movie is Best of the Best Without Warning. So we're gonna have no warning about what's coming in this next movie. It's not Best of the Best 4, it's just Best of the Best Without Warning. I'm super excited to see what's gonna happen. Like, who could he face next? You know, he faced Koreans, he faced the nightclub owners, and he faced neo-Nazis. What else could he take on next? Are we gonna get like some other kind of gang, some other type of gangster, some other kind of archetypal adversary? Who knows? Who knows? But I'm excited to find out and come tell you all about it. Oh, but man, we have one more movie to go in the Best of the Best series. I'm very excited to see what happens. I'm very excited to come tell you all about what happens and how we finish out this series and the saga of Tommy Lee, because he is obviously the best of the best. The other ones weren't. Eric Roberts was not best of the best. He did wear a lot of deep V's, and we appreciate that, but he's not best of the best. It's Tommy Lee. But that is gonna do it for this little video, so until next time, this is Lindsay signing off. I'll check you later.
You have a vision in sight. Put